There's not many things that we don't know about Elvis Presley. Try and take something that not many know from a pop culture icon that dated all the way back to the 1950s. You gotta imagine it's very difficult to find something that not many people actually know. Now, if you are a big-time professional wrestling historian, you may have heard this story before, or if you are a big-time Elvis encyclopedia, you may have heard this story as well. Before the WWE took over globally and made pro wrestling bigger than ever, it was a regional-based sport. It operated based off several states, and there were territories within said states that contained a lot of talent. Talent including the Nature Boy Ric Flair, who owns the record for most world titles, the American Dream Dusty Rhodes, who's one of the most charismatic wrestlers of all time, Harley Race, one of the toughest wrestlers of all time, and the list goes on and on. Before Vince McMahon took over, pro wrestling was operated through and by territories. Memphis, Tennessee had their own territory down there, and the biggest star of that territory was Jerry the King Lawler. Jerry Lawler's legitimacy as one of the greatest wrestlers of all time is without a doubt, and he is one of, if not the biggest reason why Memphis wrestling was so successful during its time. Jerry Lawler, growing up as a kid in the mid-1950s, probably hearing a lot of Elvis on his radio, considering they were both in Memphis, I imagine Jerry had a good idea of who or what Elvis was. So in 1977, Jerry Lawler thought it would be a cool idea to possibly wrestle Elvis one day. Surely it was only a pipe dream, but little did Jerry Lawler know that his driver, Mickey, had a brother that was the president of Elvis's International Fan Club. This thought process came to Jerry Lawler because not even a year previous, Muhammad Ali took on legendary pro wrestler Antonio Inoki. So surely if that crossover worked, the biggest wrestler in Memphis facing the biggest artist in Memphis would have done a lot of good numbers. The word got around in Elvis's camp, and Elvis was very interested, so Vernon Presley actually paid Jerry Lawler a phone call. Vernon Presley told Jerry that Elvis had great interest, however right now he is not in the best of shape, and that after this tour they're going to work back into getting him into shape, and from there they will talk more about it. This would have been incredibly interesting and entertaining, especially considering Elvis was doing his karate stuff at this point, Jerry Lawler being a wrestler. It would have been must-see. Tragically, not long after that phone call, Elvis Presley did pass away that same year at the age of 42, thus dashing any hopes of a entertaining collaboration between Jerry the King Lawler and Elvis to have a wrestling match together. Jerry did get to do a collaboration and a successful crossover in 1982 with legendary comedian and actor Andy Kaufman, and this was a record-setting collaboration that did wonders for the wrestling business. But Jerry and Elvis together would have been magic, especially in the Memphis area where they're both hailed as heroes for good reasons. It would have been must-see, and it will always be a shame that we could not see it. Quick fun fact, in the wrestling business, it's a very character-driven business. A lot of people play characters, especially back in those times. There was a guy by the name of the Honky Tonk Man that was an Elvis Presley impersonator. That was his character, and he is the real-life cousin of Jerry Lawler. The real name for the guy was Wayne Ferris, and he said Elvis was a ripoff of him. It was just immaculate work. Tremendous job, sir. Jerry Lawler did say they would have done whatever Elvis wanted him to do. He probably would have won the match, but still, even getting to see it happen in living color would have been fantastic. We'll never know how it could have went, but I can assure you, as a fan of both of the kings from Memphis, Jerry Lawler and Elvis Presley, it would have been nothing short of sensational.